Hey guys, what's going on? This is Ian from ICHawks1 Gaming, and today we've got a bit of a different video as I am going to be showing you guys my ranking of all 9 Star Wars movies from worst to best. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope you guys find a couple surprises here. At my number 9 spot, I'm going to have to put Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now, this movie has got a lot wrong with it. Everything with Anakin and Padme is just so unbearably bad. Most of the lines are just horrendous. The plot doesn't really make any sense at some points, and the acting isn't too great. This movie is just laughably bad at some points. But it does have some good parts, like everything with Obi-Wan was pretty good. Ewan McGregor is just so awesome. And I liked Obi-Wan's plot of the movie, actually. It was pretty good, but other than that, it was bad. Everything on Geonosis was so stupid. Jar Jar giving supreme power to the Emperor Palpatine. It, I mean that. I mean that ruined Jar Jar even more than he's already been ruined. Like he's already bad enough, but they just had to make him the character who created two of the most powerful and iconic villains in movie history. Other than that, that's my review on Attack of the Clones. I still like to watch it here and then, but it's just still not a good movie. At my number 8 spot, I'm going to have to put Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, this movie is typically ranked rock bottom for most people, and I can totally understand why. I just rank it a little bit higher than the Attack of the Clones because at least this movie, I can have a fun time watching this movie just with how bad most of it is. Like, Queen Amidala is just a horrible. And Jar Jar, oh my god, I don't know what they were thinking with that character. Boss Nass as well is just stupid. Watto is dumb. But, I mean, with this movie, it does have its upsides. It actually does have a stable plot that makes sense, although it's pretty boring. It makes sense, at least. And, I really like the lightsaber fight at the end of the movie between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul. That's actually one of my favorites of the saga. And also, I love Qui-Gon Jinn in this movie, as well as Obi-Wan Kenobi. They're some of my favorite characters. So, I mean, this movie is definitely bad, but it's definitely not great. But, I mean, I still love watching this. It still has a special place in my heart. At number 7, we have Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Now, this movie probably has to be the most controversial movie in Star Wars history. I mean, you have some people that somehow praise it to high heaven, and then you have others that want to burn it to the ground like the holiday special. I mean, it's so weird how you have so many different sides to this. For me, I kind of put it kind of right smack in the middle, where I think it's a good movie, but I don't really think it's amazing per se, but it's definitely not horrible. It's got some really good parts to it. Like everything with Rey and Kylo was fantastic. I loved Snoke. He was so evil and sneer and manipulative, and everything with and Luke was fantastic. Mark Hamill, he's just so good. And I also loved seeing Poe a lot more in this movie. And the effects of this movie were fantastic. Visuals were great. But it's got a lot of bad stuff as well. Everything with Rose and Finn and the casino plot was just stupid and a big waste of time. They could have done much better on that. The humor in this movie felt like Marvel humor, where sometimes it can be a little funny, but you never really know if you're supposed to laugh at the jokes that they have. But also some other bad stuff. Just Rose in general. She is in my bottom 3 Star Wars characters. She's almost as bad as young Anakin from the Phantom Menace. Like, this movie, it's got a lot of bad stuff. And also Phasma dying, I mean, she's essentially just the new Boba Fett of the sequel trilogy. But other than that, I mean, this movie's got a lot of good things, but it's got a lot more bad things about it. I mean, as you guys could tell, this movie really tears me apart. Oh well, let's just hope that episode 9 is much better. At number 6, this one will probably surprise a lot of you guys, but my number 6 spot is going to have to be Episode 4, A New Hope. Now, this movie, don't get me wrong, it is absolutely fantastic. The characters are deep, the acting is great, the lines are really good, the plot is fantastic, I love the humor. It's got everything it needs to be a great movie. Just, for me, I rank it a bit lower, just because I don't think we have enough time with the main characters. Because if we would have taken out a bit of that starting droid plot at the start of the movie, I think for me, this movie would definitely be ranked a lot higher just because we don't get to see another Han, Leia, Chewie, Luke, and Obi-Wan. But other than that, this is a great movie. I love watching it, and I hope you guys don't hate me for ranking it a little bit lower. At my number 5 spot, I'm going to have to put Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, this movie, it just gets pretty much everything right. The characters are great, the acting is fantastic, the lines are really good, the scenery and CG looks really well done. I mean, every time they try and throw a joke at us, it slides off the surface perfectly. I mean, what's not to like about this movie? It's got a good plot to follow. I really like seeing the old cast. Han Solo was so awesome. I loved him even more with this movie. Princess Leia was Princess Leia. She was good. She was spunky. And Leia was good as well. I mean, there's not much else for me to say about this movie. I just think that it is really well done. At my number 4 spot, I'm going to have to put Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. This movie's always been my favorite movie as a kid. It's a great way to end a fantastic saga. The start scene on Tatooine was really good. Everything on Endor was pretty good, minus the Ewoks. The space battle at the end is my favorite one of the saga. And this movie's also got my favorite lightsaber fight between Luke and Vader. It was more emotional than actual, fighting, if that makes any sense to it. Also, seeing more of the Emperor in this movie was really good, and there's just not much else for you to say about this movie. It's just great. At number 3, we've got Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Now, this movie has just got so much emotion, so much action, so much hatred, and it's just everything I could ask for in a Star Wars film. Although some of the characters might seem a little bit flat, I still absolutely love Jen, I love Cassian, and I also love director Krennic. He's just so evil and he hates the rebellion so much. And when we see Vader force choke him, that's just awesome. And I love seeing Vader at the very end as well. I mean, this movie just gets so much right. And although the first half of the movie doesn't really seem too great to people, for me, I think that it's got nothing wrong with it. I think it's pretty solid. Sure, it has a little bit of trouble connecting together with the rest of the plot points, but it still is great. And man, Scarif, that has to be one of the best endings to a movie I've ever seen. At number 2, this is going to surprise a lot of you guys again, but it's going to be The Empire Strikes Back. Now, what else is there to say about this movie that has not already been said? I mean, everything in this movie is great. The characters are back and better than before. The plot is really good. The ending on Bespin is fantastic with the Luke and Vader fight. I mean, I'm at a loss of words for how good this film really is. It's got action, it's got humor, it's got adventure, what else is there to say? It's probably got some of the most iconic lines from the Star Wars saga as well, so that's another reason why I love it so much. At my number 1 spot, it's going to have to be Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Oh boy, the movie that Anakin turns to the dark side and Order 66 occurs. Everything with Palpatine and Anakin is just fantastic. The Emperor just knocked it out of the park this film. I mean, Ewan McGregor on Obi-Wan, oh my gosh. He can even make George Lucas dialogue come out really well. This movie is so good. It's got great emotion. The banter in this movie is there. The plot is great. I love the lightsaber fights in it. I mean, it's really good. Mace Windu was actually pretty good. I think this is actually the first movie where I actually enjoyed seeing him on screen. And although General Grievous was a little iffy, I still think he was okay. I mean, I thought he was cool, but kind of lame at the same time. I mean, there's not much else for me to say about this movie. I think one of my favorite things is actually the ending, where we see Darth Vader's mask go on to Anakin's head, and with Luke and Leia being born. I think the ending, after the fight with Obi-Wan and Anakin, that's probably my favorite, 20 minutes of the Star Wars saga. And there you guys have it. All 9 Star Wars movies ranked my order. Now, if you guys have a different list, or if you guys just want to share yours with me, please, please, please send them in the comments. I actually love looking at those for some reason. And also, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to join the Hawk Squad Discord server. It's in my channel description. I'll send notification there every time a video goes live. But thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it.
belonging you seek. It is ahead.